Hello and welcome to Forum First Podcast. I'm Laura.
And I'm Peter. We are the founders of Forum First Fitness app. This podcast is about the sport of indoor rowing, and we'll be covering topics ranging from health, training, injury prevention, and how technology can help us to get better while staying healthy.
We boil down complex sport science topics, bringing you the latest research from the field of rowing and technology, and as in the case of today, having some of the top sports specialists as our guest.
Yes, join us today for another episode of Forum First Podcast with our guest, strength and endurance coach, Jakob Frandsen.
We're super excited to have Jakob on our show, and he's going to be joining us just in a second. And today with him, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to handle the changes that have happened to our training and life and nutrition in general with the current situation, how to kind of stop feeling bad about what you can do and get a little bit more into the mindset of what you can do, and just some tips and tricks on how to get the correct mindset of a winner. We also going to be talking a little bit about how to change your behavior and focus more on the things that you can do and what are the kind of things you can be working on without any equipment, and also how to approach your nutrition and just general attitude. Jakob is one of the best strength coaches, and he's also really great specialist in nutrition, and we're very excited to have him introduce himself a little bit to us and our audience, and also to hear his practical tips and advice. So very exciting today.
Cool, let's go.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome everyone. Today I'm here with my colleague Laura and our friend Jakob Frandsen. He's a strength and CrossFit coach, and today he is our guest. So Jakob, maybe can you tell us something about yourself?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi everyone. As Peter told, my name is Jakob. I'm 33 years old. And the past 7 years, I've been a self-employed personal trainer. I have a bachelor's degree in sports science and is going to hopefully be a master in sports science as well in a couple of years. I've done a bunch of stuff training-wise. So I've played professional handball. I have coached like physical training for some of the best players here in Denmark, or second best league it is. Handball is a great sport here in Denmark. So even the second best league is very good. And the past 1.5 years, I've turned my love on CrossFit. So I'm doing a lot of CrossFit myself, and it's coaching as well.
Cool.
And I actually also teach at something we have called the Fitness Institute here in Denmark, where we educate new personal trainers. So I have a kind of like a wide background.
Yeah, it's definitely worth mentioning that from our perspective, as we actually also being coached by you, that you are the person to go to for all the strength training and and all the kind of more traditional resistance workouts, but it's also fun because you are also kind of, because of your handball background, it's a lot of metabolic conditioning and endurance training as well. So it's kind of nice to have somebody that has the way looking at it from the both kind of end of the spectrum, from the strength and resistance and how to get like very powerful for those short lifts, but also how to kind of build that engine and have all the endurance and kind of the power to go for a longer workouts and so on. So yeah, we're very excited to have you. So thank you for being here. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about taking in consideration of how we all have been blindsided by all the events for the past couple of months. and I think they have thrown significantly all of us off our game plan in all our plans for 2020. And some people have definitely coped a little bit better with the current situation, but I think a lot of people, inclusive of us, are still struggling to find the right footing and figure out what and how to do. And in the current situation, which kind of nobody knows what to do and how long that's going to go. So it's difficult to plan and strategize. So
definitely.
So what would you think? What would you say is? I mean, how is that happening from your perspective as a coach, and how is that affecting your life as well as an athlete?
Yeah. Okay. So as I see it, there are some perspective of this. I believe that our situation and training situation changes all the time. So when we are in a steady environment and nothing changes, it's good for us, and it's easy to train, and things are available, everything is good. However, everyone is at some point going to a vacation where you're not able to be in the same gym, you're not able to have the same equipment available, a bunch of different stuff. It could be that the weather is too hot and it's hard to train outside, whatever.
Yep.
And by changing the environment, you're changing your mindset as well. I have had a lot of clients who have been, they have their own business and are traveling a lot. One of my clients had over 200 traveling days a year. That's a lot of traveling. So we kind of looked at it on that perspective. So how are we able to structure your training so that wherever you go, you're able to have some kind of training available?
Yeah.
He goes to a lot of different hotels, and every hotel he went to is different. There's not the same equipment. There's not, maybe some hotels only have a treadmill. Some hotels only have like maximum of 10 kilo dumbbells. Yeah. Anything. Everything is different all the time. So I actually told him to purchase a TRX, if you're familiar with that one.
Yeah.
And then we set up his training program about that, because everywhere he goes, he's able to set up the TRX in the door and is able to do his training everywhere he goes.
That's really nice.
So kind of like look at it on what is available and how can I do my training, how can I schedule my training so I get the most out of the kind of bad situation I'm in. So it's not ideal to travel 200 days a year, but was he able to lose weight? Was he able to get stronger and be more healthier? Yeah, definitely, because we sorted out. So we kind of looked at his situation and scheduled the training around that. And that was what made success for him. But today it's
the current situation is quite similar in a way that we're not traveling at the moment, but not having access to our regular gym and equipment is definitely challenging.
So as I see it, there is kind of like two ways. So you have kind of the planned situation, maybe vacation, stuff like that. Yeah. And you have the not planned situations like the COVID situation we have now. When you are in a planned situation where, for example, are going traveling, you can decide two things. Am I going to train or am I not going to train? That's kind of like the two perspectives you have. So if you're not going to train, that's fine. Then you have accepted that and you can relax and enjoy your vacation, holiday, whatever. If you would like to train while you are on your way, you just have to see what am I able to do when I'm away. So am I only going to have myself like do bodywork workouts? Is it the place I'm traveling, is it able for me to do a run? other gyms nearby. So you can do a lot of things to structure your day around training if you want that to be a priority.
Yeah.
But if it's not a priority, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, as I see it, as a coach and as a CrossFit athlete, I would look at my situation and say, okay, I'm going for a 14 days holiday, vacation. I'm traveling to Mexico, whatever. What do I have available, or am I even going to train, or am I only going to relax?
Or just be active during your holiday.
Yeah.
You know, swim,
Yeah.
take walks, and just do something.
So everything works. So swimming, walking, as long as you're active, that's training in my perspective.
Yeah.
Now that we're seeing that everyone is benched home due to the COVID virus, that's a different situation because no one saw that coming. And a lot of people don't have anything available gym-wise.
Yeah.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. It's just that it froze. So no one has anything available, like no dumbbells, no barbells, no rowing machines, no nothing.
Yeah, of course.
And
that's why we go to a gym in a way, in a normal situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's expensive, and people don't have the space for it and stuff like that. So how can we cope with this situation? It's really different. In my opinion, you need to take control, and you need to adapt to the situation. But it's very difficult because when you are in what I will call a comfortable situation, or a place where you used to train. So it's kind of like the same gym or CrossFit box you're heading to. When you are traveling, or when you are on your bike on your way to the gym, you're mentally getting started in the training session, even when you are traveling to it. And when you come out there, you see stuff, you feel the smell. There's a certain temperature in the room. Everything is kind of like a setting. Yeah, it's a setting that is. Oh, I don't know what it's called, but it's it's kind of like a mental thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So you're setting yourself up for the training. And now, where we are not able to be in the gyms, we're trying to get the best out of the situation at home. But I don't want to do workouts inside. I live in an apartment, and it's an old one. So if I jump up and down in the living room, I believe my neighbor would hate me for it. So I tend to go outside. Now we're fortunate that the weather is good, but it's still not the same. It's much colder. It's windy. It's just outside. I can do it. I can do it whenever I want because it's just outside. I don't have to travel for it.
True.
I don't have any equipment, so it's only bodyweight workouts. There's a bunch of different things that is doing something to our head and getting the mental game. It's actually a mental game more than it's a physical game, I believe.
Definitely. Yeah. And there is definitely a sensation when, as you said, I think you're sitting there and you're in an environment when you're used to relaxing or kind of enjoying yourself, taking it a little bit slowly. And yes, I can completely get it, how it can be not only very distracting, but not very motivational to try to train next to your sofa and your TV. And at the back of your head, you're going like, oh, I really just wish to be kind of watching Netflix right now on my sofa. And I know there's like a bucket of ice cream in the freezer. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And it's a different, different mindset for it.
It definitely. And also a thing I thought about yesterday was the time frame. So in a regular day, most people go to work, and after work they go training, or maybe they train before they go to work.
Yeah.
In this situation where some people are grounded at home, their employer had even said that you don't have to work, or you can work as long as you get things done. I don't care at what hours you work. Then you can train at all time. It doesn't matter what time you're training. So your mindset will start going, oh, I'll train in an hour, and then in an hour, oh, I'll train in an hour.
Yeah.
So there isn't kind of like that.
Like, it's too late. I'll do tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So that's hard as well. But
and boy, are we no strangers to this kind of mindset.
But if you set yourself up for success, I know that in my yard out here, that about 10 o'clock in the morning there will be sun. So I set my watch for about 7 o'clock in the morning, have my breakfast, I start working, and then by 10 o'clock I go outside and I train for 1.5 hours, and then I go back. First of all, I've set myself up for success because I've made a schedule so I'll fit in my training. And if I do the same thing every day, maybe that kind of schedule would turn my head around, so that would be the same structure as I had going to the gym.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I try to give myself a structure around the training that will set myself up to be more ready for the training. So everything I does, like eating breakfast or watching the telly in the morning, everything I does is like, okay, now I'm kind of like warming up for training.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm going to do it 10 o'clock.
Put it back again into a schedule and have some organization behind it. Then a little bit like first I do this, then I said brush my teeth, take a shower, take my breakfast or whatever, and then I work and then I train or something like that. Definitely. Well, I think that totally makes sense, and I think a lot of people know this mindset and how difficult it is when you work from home, and I think a lot of people are experiencing it right now, of like the whole thing of working from your bed, from your bedroom in your pajamas, not having this mindset of like, okay, now I have to wake up. For the guys, I guess take a shave, take a shower. For girls, kind of make yourself a little bit more presentable, sit down, and you're already into the mindset. And I think it's very, very similar to this, kind of to exactly use your external environment to help you get your mind in the groove.
Exactly. So if you were a CEO at a large company that and you are grounded, you're not able to go anywhere. You're at your apartment. If you are at a conference call or anything, you need to be that kind of person. And if you're not there by putting on your pajamas and you need to have a tie on and shirt and stuff like that, then you need to go in that game to be that kind of CEO that you want to reflect your personality.
Exactly. So I think it's nice to also cover a little bit of how also the emotional side, because it's great advice to talk about how we should try to reintegrate training in a different way to our daily lives and so on. But it has changed so much, and probably truth be told, a lot of us have not really trained, and I guess now it's like really daunting on a lot of people that situation may continue for a long time, and I think a lot of feelings of, like, I would say maybe talking, a little bit like negative self-speech comes in place, and a little bit of I guess a little bit feeling, I would say, feeling not necessarily feeling sorry for yourself and for the situation, but kind of having some regrets on why I did not do this, why I did not do that, why I did not move faster. And I'm sure that a lot of people get kind of and that doesn't help your motivation, feeling having these feelings that and as you said, like I think a lot of people might say, well, I haven't trained for 3 weeks, so what an extra week would do.
Yeah, I totally get your point. So as we talked about before, it's all about setting yourself up for success. And if you're stuck by feeling self-pity or, as you said before, feeling sorry for yourself, that's not creating the best environment for yourself. So you're just pushing yourself further down, and you're actually kind of like have an attitude that I don't care. I haven't trained for 3 weeks, 3 weeks more, whatever. It doesn't. Yeah, why should I even bother? It doesn't make sense at all. I don't have any equipment. It's bad weather. Everything is wrong.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I ate that bucket of ice cream yesterday. It doesn't matter because I don't have any weights, so I can't lose that extra energy I got in. But as I see it, you need to change your focus. You really need to have a positive attitude towards training and towards being healthy or just active in any way. So if you're not set up mentally for going out to train, maybe a walk first would be best. Then when you have done a walk for 3 days, you might be able to say, okay, that was actually good for me. I might be doing something more. Then it could be a walk and some running, or it could even be a walk and some squats, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, but you're building it up, so it's not. You don't have to go out and do a workout every day or do 1,000 air squats because you don't have any weight. It's not what I'm talking about. It's just that setting yourself up for success. That okay, tomorrow I'll go 4 kilometers instead of the 3 I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's manageable and it's not overdoing things.
Would you say that like building this accountability within people and within yourself at the end of the day starts with a little bit like forgiving yourself for past mistakes?
Yeah, exactly. So every day is a new day. And you have the opportunity to be successful every day. So if you go in with the attitude that that you're already lost, you're definitely going to lose.
Yeah.
But if you're going in with the mindset that you're a winner and of course you can do this, then everything is possible. As you guys, you started up with an idea and you set yourself up for success with everything you're doing a podcast now. You're making an amazing app that's going to help a lot of people with their in the moment it's growing, but I don't see where the boundaries will be there. So you're setting yourself up for success by having an attitude that everything is possible. I believe you're doing that. I don't know what your mental game is, but that's my opinion.
And I think it's something that we have allowed ourselves, and Peter will say, if we talk also about work in life and the way we view things, definitely I'm an insane perfectionist, and I have a little bit of a tendency that if something is not perfect, I get very frustrated and I just want to scrap it and start fresh. So I definitely suffer from this, and Peter have really helped me learn to move on sometimes, that when it's good enough to kind of forgive myself and those around me, that not everything is perfect, because nothing ever will be perfect. I think same comes to our diet, same comes to our training, and that as long as you try to be better today than you were yesterday, and doing your best. And I would actually probably add, super important, make it fun. Because if you like it, if you like it, if you have fun with it, you'll feel better. Then whatever makes you feel better, you want to do more of. And I think that's the whole idea of training. You want to feel good. It should feel good.
Exactly. When I started as a personal trainer for about 7 years ago, it was all about structure. So for my clients, it was all about structure. You need to do this exercise, and then when you're done that, you should do this exercise, and so on. As I've become a better strength coach, trainer, as I've been around, I've had a lot of clients, both athletes and average Joes. But what I see is that when you're able to make training fun, it's a lot easier to have them doing and have compliance. But if it's it's kind of like, okay, so if a trainer come and told you to eat chicken and broccoli every day and you hate broccoli, what's the chance that you're going to stick to that diet?
Probably you're gonna give it a really, really good try, and your motivation will come from here, and it's gonna go very, very steeply down.
And as I said before, you're definitely not set up for success.
Yeah.
And that's that's kind of like my point in this talk, is that you need to set yourself up for success. So to make an example, we are in lockdown. Everything is it's not we're not able to go to the gym. I'm not able to build muscle. I'm not able to getting any stronger. I hate running, so maybe my conditioning won't be better. I really need my rower. I need my assault bike. I need my ski erg. Anything. I need any device to get better.
Barbell.
Yeah. So that's the situation. However, that's not possible. So what can I do that will make me better for when I enter the gym once more? 6 days ago, I made a post on my Instagram story that, no, it wasn't. It was just a regular Instagram post about squat depth and how to be better in the squat position. And my only advice was that if you just use a couple of minutes every day, it's like 2 or 3 minutes.
You can do it while you're waiting for your oatmeal or your breakfast to cook, or for your lunch to cook in the oven,
Yeah, my advice was that 2 times a day, when you brush your teeth in the morning and when you brush your teeth in the evening, sit in the squat position. If you're not able to sit in the squat position, then hold the door or a table or anything. It doesn't matter as long as you get down. That was 6 days ago. Today I received a video from a girl who had been doing that for exactly 6 days. She wasn't able to sit in a squat upright, and she needed to pull the door just to be there. And 6 days later, with only like 5 minutes of work every day, she's able to sit full depth in a deep squat. Is she struggling? Yeah, she is, but she's only been working for it for 6 days, a maximum of 30 minutes throughout the whole 6 days.
Definitely.
So once again, you can do a lot of stuff. So if you change your focus and you change your behavior, you're able to do a huge difference by working on stuff that you're not usually working on. Mobility, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not able to.
And we know for mobility, it's so much better. We all come and do this mobility sessions a couple of times a week, but everybody knows that mobility should be done. It's way better to do a little bit every day. than doing 2 or 3 hours once a week, and then you actually get sore from overstretching, which is also not great.
So imagine that that you've been doing mobility work for a month, every day for a month, and you'll go back to the gym, and then you suddenly have a barbell on your back, sit down, and it's a totally different experience. You're much deeper, and by going deeper, you'll get more out of your training. less what is it called? There are less. Oh, I don't know what it's called. Oh, it doesn't matter. But what I was going to say was that you probably will not be. You will probably not have the same rate of getting injured if you are more mobile.
Definitely.
So if you're setting yourself up for being better when you come back, you might not be that strong.
Yeah.
That's a fair game, but you may be better moving when you're coming back.
Definitely, and also we have to consider, and we always talk about, at the end of the day, the overall force produced is, the how quickly and how far you move what weight. So if you go deeper in your squat, you move it further, which means that you're doing more work, you're producing more force. So that's also it's a nice way of thinking about it. It's definitely a mindset, and I think it's worth mentioning that doing at least a little bit of training helps also your mental health. I have definitely, and I'm sure a lot of people have felt it, but I have definitely felt my mood. I think before I start feeling any changes in myself of like the lack of training for the first few weeks of the lockdown, I think the first thing that I felt as a difference was my sleep. I didn't sleep that well because I'm assuming maybe I didn't expend so much energy in my day, and I definitely felt my sleep quality went down. Second, I start feeling stiff and funny, and like places aching, and I'm like, boy, am I that old that I just don't do anything and ache. And third, I definitely felt a change in mood, which I'm pretty sure it is a combination of kind of hormones and metabolic processes changing from, because we all know exercise makes us feel happy. So when we lack it, we don't maybe produce some of those hormones that we get and those substances in our bloodstream as when we train. And that definitely affects your mood. And imagine, as you said, like you're feeling sorry for yourself. You're going like, oh, damn it. Like I had such a bad diet and I haven't been training. And that's a down spiral from here. And it's
totally.
And it's pretty hard to kind of cut it. But yeah, I completely agree that you have to just forgive yourself for past mistake, bad diet, whatever. Take it as every day is a new opportunity. And I can only affect what's going on today and now. Can't change the past. I can't change the future. I can only try to affect the future by what I do today. And I think people forget this very often.
So I would address it as I do to any of my clients. You fucked up your diet. Yeah. And so what? Tomorrow is a new day, and then you start there. It doesn't matter if you fucked up today. No one is perfect.
No one is perfect.
So, no one is perfect, and everyone have to see that. Even the hotshot Instagrammers, YouTubers out there who just post perfect pictures every time of their nutrition, and they also fuck up. Everyone does it.
And you use it just to give yourself a little bit of space as well.
Yeah, we are humans. Yeah, but as I see it, we have 3 things that we can work on in this period that would make us maybe not that much better, but it will maintain a good physique, being healthy and stuff like that. So the one thing is training. So we need to focus on what we can do and not what we can't do. That's very important. So if we're able to do mobility, then do mobility. If I'm able to run and like running, then run, and embrace that instead of being it a bad thing that I'm only able to run. Yeah, but you might be better at running when you come back to the back to the box afterwards.
This is what
then you might be
we're thinking. Yeah, you're never going to get better if you don't practice.
No, exactly. Actually, I'm one of those guys who hate running, and I tend to skip that part of my training. But in this period, running is very good for me, and I really feel and can see on my times that I'm getting better. Do I think that is a success? Definitely.
Yeah.
Of course.
Definitely. I so often say, and I always try to think that whenever you have,
So we're back, and we were talking about how we can embrace the different situations and look at it from both the positive and negative aspect. And of course, we should, instead of saying, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't train because I don't have a rower," let's instead focus on what we can do. And as Jakob was explaining, yeah, now I have a lot of time for running, and let's get better at that. So, yeah, I think that's a very nice way of looking at it.
Yeah, it's all about looking, instead of seeing challenges, seeing opportunities, and it's very much of changing your mindset. So what would you recommend as concrete advice, Jakob? You said already take steps to reintegrate training into your day, stick to the same time so it stays as part of your routine. You also mentioned work on the things that you normally can and try to do a little bit every day. Even if you have lacked of discipline before, just take every day and take it from where you can and just try to make better. What would you say in a sense of food and nutrition? I know now it's a little bit also tricky, with what is possible, shopping, going out, and so on.
Yeah. Okay. So nutrition-wise, it's all about, once again, setting yourself up for success. As you said before, I had a bottle of ice cream yesterday, so I can just continue in that direction because it doesn't matter anyhow. So by setting yourself up for success, it's all about what you're able to do in this moment. And if you're not able to train, yes, you are able to run, fine, and you're able to do some bodyweight workouts. However, the nutrition part is where you actually can make a huge difference now, because almost every grocery store are open, and you are able to buy vegetables, meat, stuff like that. So now you can actually take the time and energy that you used to do on training and make sure that your nutrition is good. So it takes a lot of days and a lot of tries to make a good habit. So why not use the time now to make that good habit, so when you enter the gym once again, you already have that good habit of having a good nutrition.
Yeah, planning, preparation, and so on.
Exactly, because when you're eating healthy and you have the right amount of vegetables and macronutrients as well, you're just able to do more productive work as training. So I would recommend that your focus are on training, on nutrition these days, because you have the time to do healthy meals, you have the time to go shopping. That's every time I talk to clients who says, "Oh, it's so difficult to eat healthy because it takes a lot of time preparation. I need to go shopping all the time." Now you have the time for it.
Exactly.
So why not use the time to make good habits nutrition-wise? That would be my advice for today.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit more about the people that have probably not been very, disciplined. What about those that have done their best? They have, as soon as the lockdown started, they were training, they were running, whatever. However, a lot of athletes cannot fit any more resistance training into their daily workouts. So I think a lot of people have substitute a lot of that strength resistant training into more endurance cardio training. Would you say that they how they should amend their nutrition in order to kind of maintain their muscles and kind of not start as what a lot of people are afraid of melting off and kind of leaning out too much? Some guys look very hard for their gains, and a body of a long distance runner is probably something that they're not really looking for.
Yeah. Okay. So that's definitely a thing we need to remember to talk about afterwards. But nutrition wise, I would make sure that I'm in a surplus, a slight surplus. So that I have enough protein in my diet. And I would actually say that a bit of excessive protein in this situation doesn't hurt anyone. So I would go for maybe 2.5 grams per kilo body weight. That would be my go-to in this period, just to make sure that I get enough protein, so my muscle really have something to work with. And after that, it's just a matter of calories. So if you get it from fats or you get it from carbohydrates, it doesn't matter for me. I just need to be sure that I have enough carbohydrates to make my training. So if I'm doing more cardiovascular training, so I'm doing more conditioning training, then I really need to have some carbohydrates to go through my training.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing let's say a 10K run, you really need some energy to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And that energy should come from the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So if you're running a lot, then be sure to eat your potatoes, rice, pastas, stuff like that,
and so on.
Yeah. And another thing is actually kind of like we talked a bit about rhythms before, daily routines, and I believe that sleep is very important in this time as well. For me, it's very important to have at least 8 hours of sleep every day.
Yeah.
In a regular day, I go to bed around 9 o'clock, and then I wake up at 5:30. Yeah, so that's quite early. However, now it's kind of like the same. I just turn it a bit round. So maybe I go to bed around 12 o'clock in the evening and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's still the 8 hours.
Yeah.
But for someone, it can be difficult to change that schedule, because if you have, in my situation, my clock has been ringing 5:30 for the past 6 years. So it might be difficult to sleep 3 or 4 hours more than that. So I tend to not go into bed at 12 o'clock in the evening, because I know it's difficult for me to sleep like 3 or 4 hours more in the morning than I used to, even though I get into bed later. Does that make sense at all?
Definitely, yes.
It's really your mind is set up for a different clock. So if you start changing that,
as they call, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So really try to maintain your daily routines as much as possible.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Definitely. Well, I think in a sense of nutrition also, it is so difficult, especially with all that TV watching and snacking, and and I think Also, I heard a good advice that every time when you feel like taking a snack, just take a step back and think, am I actually hungry or am I just bored?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can relate on how much we all eat out of boredom. And I think it's nice to also ask yourself the right questions, or just portion. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting during these times? If you can't really apply this discipline of like not snacking and keeping your nutrition, what is your opinion of possibly going into intermittent fasting and just kind of eating in a small window of time?
Okay, so so intermittent fasting is just one way of making a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
It works exactly like any other thing out there. I wouldn't recommend it for females because it tend, as I read studies, it tend to have some negative influence on the female hormones. So I wouldn't recommend it for any females. But intermittent fasting could be a great tool if you are that kind of person who can't really tend to grab yourself and have a healthy diet throughout the whole day. I have one question that I say to all of my clients that they should have when they go shopping. And when they go shopping, they should say, okay, does this do anything good for me? And if the answer would be yes, then it's fine. Just put it in your basket and then have it take it home. But if the answer is no, then really think, do I really need this?
Yes.
Because if it doesn't do you any good, then why buy it at all?
Exactly.
If you have it in your kitchen and it's there, it's much easier for me to go and grab it than when I don't have it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
I think also a question that I find to ask, and that applies both for nutrition and training, is that I ask myself, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What do you want after out of your training? What do you want out of your nutrition? And when you ask yourself, as you said, what do you want? Well, I want to be healthy. I want to be lean. I want to be, I want to have endurance. I want to be happier. I want to feel good in my own skin. And then the next following question is that behavior, exercise, food, kind of contributing to this, or are they taking away from what I generally want? And and very often I'm a little bit too lazy personally to make some healthy snack, and then I go like, well, what do you want, Laura? You train so hard normally. Why are you now failing on something as simple as making the choice from this to that, and you're still gonna stretch your hand and grab the thing, and it's gonna make absolutely no difference for you. Rather, whether you're gonna stretch your arm and grab an apple, or stretch your arm and grab a candy, a bag of candy. Yeah. It's all about, how do you kind of ask the question at the end of the day. And it's totally cool. If what you want right now is candy, then and you're cool with it, and that's within, you can have candy, it's fine. It's cool.
However, then you shouldn't be sad up and bitch about it afterwards.
Exactly. And you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. So then we're all going to be fat and proud.
But yeah, you said it's, what did you say before? Something about the what kind of thing you're grabbing?
Yeah,
grabbing for.
It's the same.
For some, it doesn't. Yeah, you need to look at what is your goal. So for guys and girls who want to do fat loss and fat loss training, it's a different perspective than a guy who just whose end goal is to squat 200 kilos. It's totally different. So the guy who want to squat 200 kilos, it probably doesn't matter what he eats, because he actually just needs to have yeah, he needs to have a lot of calories in to be able to work that hard. But the one who wants to have fat loss, that's a totally different speech you need to have for those guys. So exactly as you said before, it's the end goal that should be the motivator for each one of us.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and another thing is that we are using a lot of energy and a lot of time on training, but the training doesn't matter if you don't eat well.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the
So
things that I always say is that you cannot in the caloric. Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought I lost you for a second, but in the abundance of calories that we have in a traditional diet and in a normal developed countries, it is so easy to go and fetch calories from a shop, from takeaway or and so on. It is just impossible to out train a bad diet. It is impossible because you can ingest 2,000 calories like this in one meal. You take a big milkshake, a pizza, and some fries or something, and you're probably there. And we all know
it's very
how
very
hard we work to burn 2,000 calories through training. So
it's very easy to have a huge surplus in calories if you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
So really, that should be a priority for most, is to make sure that your diet is well before you're using like 3 hours a day training, because it doesn't matter if you're not eating well. And especially for girls, I tend to see a lot of girls, females, they want to train a lot. However, they won't eat any protein at all.
Yeah.
So why would you want to train? Do you just want to be skinny, or do you actually want to be build muscle and be athletic looking, or what is your goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And women also have a little bit of, I can agree, have a little bit of tendency to go, okay, I don't want to get fat, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in a huge caloric deficit, so I don't put any fat, and that is actually very detrimental, could be very detrimental for the metabolism, for the hormones, and everything that kind of comes and follows with it, everything from sleeping patterns to mood swings and all this kind of and also how it will affect your metabolism when you want to restart your training and when you want to restart your regular life.
Yeah. People talk a lot about how it affects your metabolism and stuff like that when you're not eating enough. There's some truth to it, but if you're in a deficit, you will lose weight. So let's just keep it there. However, what I'm seeing when people tend to go too low in calories is that they are not setting themselves up for success. Once more. So that's the same thing. If you're going too low, you'll probably be very, very irritated. You'll be very hungry, and you'll probably have a bigger chance of failing. So that is actually, I think, the worst part of going too low in calories. You're not setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes just a small step every day, and well, this has been pretty cool. Thank you so much for kind of spending a little bit of your time. I know we know you're very busy, lockup or not. You're very, very busy working on a lot of stuff, and still, of course,
a lot of projects.
Yeah, a lot of projects, and taking care of all the people that you normally train offline now. With all the challenges and stuff, it's I can't imagine it being easy. We would love to have you again, of course. Again, thank you so much for the advice. I think that should be quite. I mean, I truth be told, we didn't say anything groundbreaking or new, but it's very, very often to just hear the good practices again and again, and just be reminded of it's all about attitude, and it's all about my My dad, when I was growing up, always used to say that you can be two things in life. You can either be a loser or you can be a winner. And the difference is the mindset. And if you have a mindset of a loser, you're always going to be a loser. And if you have a mindset of a winner, even when bad things happen to you, even when challenges come your way, you're always going to take the best out of it. You're going to learn and you're going to use this to get better. And this is, as he used to call it, the winner attitude. So I think it's a lot about how you want to view the situation. And yeah, we can either dwell in self-pity of what is happening right now, or we can kind of take charge and take responsibility, make ourselves accountable, remind ourselves that in every crisis there's an opportunity to get better, to come out stronger, to come out more diligent, probably more awake, maybe a better runner as well.
Yeah, more balanced.
Exactly, and kind of stronger. And it's all about mental attitude. And I completely agree. And with what you said, that nutrition is probably the one thing we can do right now. And you don't need dumbbells for it. You don't need special gym or equipment for it. You just need to take care of it. And I can personally say I have been, having so many nutritional sins for the past few weeks. But yeah, I'm definitely going.
That's probably due to boredom.
Yes, exactly. As I said, I eat a lot from boredom. Yes. And oh boy, those old Netflix shows, they require candy and snacks.
Yeah, I think nowadays we all are nutritional sinners in these days.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely. Thanks, Jakob, for being our guest, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely, and we're really, really looking forward. Hopefully, when all this is done, and we can see you and have a chat in person. But
yeah,
for now, thanks.
Looking forward to that.
And yeah, great. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.